Hello, butterflies. Welcome back to another episode of Candid Conversations. It's me, your hostess, Shakerah, and I'm super elated to be before you today. Now, for the new listeners and watchers, viewers, I would like to let you all know a few little housekeeping rules that we have over here at Candid Conversations. Number one, Candid Conversations is a safe space, okay? It's a safe space for you to come and actually emote and or listen in on different topics that affect or impact your emotional well-being, okay? Now to drill down a little bit more on that, every single episode in season 3 is dedicated to topics that help us become well women. That's right. So this so far we've talked about returning to self. We have talked about self-love as a daily practice. We talked about joy as resistance. We talked about reclaiming the body as home. That was a real good one. Y'all need to go watch that one. But today, I'm super excited for episode 6 as we are going to be talking about reimagining resilience. Today, we're going to have a really good conversation with Mrs. Dynika Marshall. Baby, I'm super excited about this episode. Miss Marshall is going to come and she's going to drop gems. This is a space for vulnerability. This is a safe space, okay? I also want to let the viewers know that throughout this episode, we may be talking about Dynika's experience and journey through the NICU during the birth of her second child. So, not to spoil what's coming up, but sit back, relax, grab your tea, your coffee, or your liquor because this is a no judgment place, okay? Make sure you have your notebook and your pen ready to take some notes and your heart and mind and ears open. Without further ado, we are going to welcome our special guest, Miss Dynika Marshall, to the stage. Hello, Dynika.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm here. I am all things good.
I love it. I love it. I'm super, super, super excited to have you on. Y'all don't know, but Dynika is my sister. And she's been a loyal supporter of the Beauty Beyond the Mirror, Candid Conversations, and just me as a person for many years. And so I was excited when I got nudged to like, it's her turn. And I'm like, yes. Y'all, we have good keys, okay? And sis be dropping gems. She has so much to say. And I'm like, the time is now. So let's get into it. First of all, before we get into it, tell the butterflies a little bit more about you, and then we'll dive on in.
Well, hello, butterflies. Like she mentioned, my name is Dynika Marshall. I am a woman of God, first and foremost. I'm a wife to Corey Marshall, mother to 3 beautiful daughters. I am also an expecting mother during this season. I am a consultant at KPMG, and I am the founder of A NICU's Mother Journey, which is just a space to kind of help moms navigate that NICU experience and share that experience. So that is me.
Love it. Love it. Now, where are you located?
I am located in Beaufort, Georgia. I mean, it's not close, but you can say Atlanta, Georgia is where I'm located.
Okay. And so butterflies, because I take the feedback and I do listen. You all asked for me to put where to find and follow the special guest at the beginning as well as at the end of the episode. And so here, scrolling on the screen, you can see you could follow Dynika at a NICU Mama Journey on Instagram, Facebook. I believe it's the same thing on TikTok too, isn't it?
It is. Well, under TikTok, it's just my name, but
Okay.
search all things Dynika Marshall and you can find me.
All right, y'all heard her. So we are going to dive on in to today's episode, Resilience Reimagined. So we're going to talk about breaking the strong Black woman narrative, okay?
Mhm.
When was a moment when you first realized that being strong might actually be costing you something?
Okay. The strong Black woman narrative is one indeed to be talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But I will honestly say, I realized that strong was costing me when it was costing me my peace.
Mm,
When I started noticing, right, that I became more draining in my everyday life, when everything was chaotic and I couldn't get a handle on things, when, um, life just didn't seem like I could grasp it. I
mm-hmm.
was like, something is off. And I'm trying to show up in everyday life. I'm trying to be who everyone thinks I need to be. I'm trying to be that mother. I'm trying to be that worker, and excel at everything. But in the inside, like I was disconnecting me from myself. And
Mm,
that's when I realized this is not this is not the life. This is not what strong looks like. If I am draining and I am, dying inside, that's that's not something I want to be. So
yeah.
that is when I start noticing like, okay, this strong Black woman narrative, how much is it really strong? Cuz I don't know.
So what I heard you say was that you kind of push this like strong Black woman narrative onto yourself from a place of like wanting to be great, wanting to excel. Um and also it sounds like wanting to be the support for everybody else.
100%.
So
I
when
would
you,
say go ahead.
go ahead.
No, no, I would just say like where that came from, I can't really identify like that need, that want to be that. Maybe it's a sense of, okay, well, this is what it's supposed to look like. We, s- I saw the example in my mom, right? Her showing up all the time, her being there, her making sure, and I saw her strong face. I didn't see a lot of vulnerable moments. I
Mm,
still don't see a lot of vulnerable moments. So when I have those, I'm like, okay, this is not being strong. This
mm,
is either you're weak or you have an issue or you can't identify, and it's like, no, no, my peace took a back seat, my
mm.
softness took a back seat, my vulnerability took a back seat, and that's not something, when I identified it, that's not something that I want to take back seats. So
Yeah. That's so good that you were able to like name the parts of you that had to go quiet so that strength um could show up in your life. Um what would you define as strong present day?
present day, what I feel strong is being able to identify your weaknesses. I will say, if I don't have the capacity to do something
Mhm.
and being able to articulate and communicate and show up, for example, to my husband, I can't do 20% today. I can't even do 10.
Mhm.
Being able to recognize that in that moment and acknowledge it and at least give him the opportunity to say, okay, I can, or we need to find another way. I feel like that is a characteristic of being strong.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
that. Like communicating the need even when it doesn't look glamorous or like, oh, I got all of this together, because essentially if I had it all together I wouldn't have the need. And
Mhm.
having the need is normal. Being able to identify that you have the need is healthy, and it's strength in all of those things coming together and expressing it verbally.
100%.
I love
100%.
that. I love that. So tell me, how has strength shown up differently in your motherhood journey, especially through your NICU experience?
Um, for me, right? So, and I'll give you guys some background regarding the NICU experience. I had my second daughter at 27 weeks, which is extremely early, and some moms even go 25 weeks. And the rule of thumb is, it's not the rule, but it's commonly followed. If you have a 25 weeker, they're not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So being just 27 weeks after that, and it wasn't planned, it wasn't immediately rushed, but it was a few days in the hospital. It was diagnosed as severe preeclampsia. And the doctor came in and said, hey, your organs are not doing what they need to do. They're actually failing. So we are going to take the baby.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, being able to just throw my hands up and say, do what you have to do. Being able to, well, not being able to process like how I truly feel, not being able to really sit down and think and say, okay, Dynika, you have a choice here. But in that moment, I talked to God and I said, God, save this baby, whatever, at the expense of me, at the expense of whatever has to happen. And I'm a crier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a crier.
It's healthy.
I was not a crier in that moment. It
Yeah.
was strictly, okay, take her, let's get her here.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a strength I've never seen before. I think even my husband recognized it. He was like, I don't know who you were in that moment because you normally fall apart. You
Yeah.
normally shut down. You normally go, a little bit limp. But in that moment, it was a sign of strength that it didn't come anywhere but from God. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That gave me chills. Um, it's so it's so like beautiful, you know, to be able to go through like different trials and different tribulations and just different things. I think just life, right?
mhm,
Um, where in these situations normally, I think from my experience of like going through the ups and the downs of life, I absolutely have leaned into resilience, but not from a place of like, I got this resilience. It was more so from a place of like, I have to do this, and I'm upset doing this, and I'm doing it with probably some resentment.
mhm,
But I just have to do it. And I think for the outside world, it looks like, oh, you're so strong. Meanwhile, I'm over here like,
breaking down.
okay,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
So I feel like I'm starting to feel like resilience isn't about like bouncing back, so to speak. It's more so about like choosing not to go back to the versions of
mhm.
ourselves that we're just surviving. So, what does that idea bring up for you?
Whew. Um, Similar to what you just said, right? I think when we think of resilience, it is showing up, right? But I also think it means sometimes you have to take a step back and say that's okay to take a step back. Sometimes you have to sit with yourself and identify you're not the same version of yourself. You need to take an assessment of self and understand what are your current needs,
Mm-hmm.
um, what is going to help you become your best self so that you can show up properly the way that you do. So that you can show up how you want to, so that you can show up your full self, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can show up happy and not doing it with resentment, even though those are feels and you have to feel it. But like sometimes it's understanding, okay, where do I need to go in self so that I can get to the place I need to be?
Absolutely. To know thyself. Okay. Know thyself. And I think like that's like the premise of ultimately what you're saying. Like you last month we talked about like sitting still and like the body and us being like our body, our mind is our first altar. Like
Mhm.
you have to sit still, you have to get quiet, you have to like pay attention to like, oh, okay, I don't like the way that made me feel. Oh, I do like the way that made me feel. And I think sometimes when, especially for as a black woman, when I'm showing up and I know I just have to get things done, I'm probably a little checked out from like how it's making me feel in the moment. And then before I know it, I'm caught up, and it's like, oh wait, I don't like the
Too
way that
much.
makes me feel.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But by that time, it's like, okay, you have this person depending on you. You have that person depending on you. I can only imagine for you. You have a whole family. You know what I mean? That,
Mhm.
but you also have support. So I think, well, what I want to know is, what does resilience look like for you now in a way that actually feels sustainable and not just like admirable from like an outside perspective?
One point that I was going to bring up too before diving into that was
Mhm.
our nervous system. Like, we can train it to a certain point. When we've been on the go, on the go, on the go, it becomes routine, and it's like, okay, I'm waiting for this adrenaline to on the go.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned this the other day, when we actually get to a safe place and our nervous system is calm and it's settled, it allows all the alerts to come in, and it's like, oh, you're sick, or
Yep.
something is wrong, or something is not actually right. But we couldn't feel that in that moment of just moving. So we have to be intentional about calming down just a little bit, taking those moments,
Mhm.
taking those breaks. So I just want to add that piece.
No, I'm glad that you added that. And I want to say, like, because that was so good. Like, because in those moments when our nervous system is calm, I know, like, for me, like, I went through a season where it was just like, and then when things slowed down, I felt
Mm,
like my body was failing me. I'm like, what is happening? What do you mean this is wrong? What do you mean that's wrong? And I'm like, well, what did I do? And it's like,
exactly.
this is probably what's going on with you all along, but because you didn't just sit still and like pace yourself, you couldn't feel it. So now I'm in a place where I can, oh, okay, before it gets tragic, I can feel what's going on in my body and all the things. And because of those alerts, I was able to stop things from like manifesting into something
Progressing.
greater.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love that you said that.
Yeah. So I think your question was actually feeling sustainable about resilience.
Hmm.
Um, Resilience now it looks like more intention and honesty with myself.
Hmm.
So waking up and deciding and choosing, right? I'm going to move forward with this day with intention. I'm going to be honest about this day. This could be the worst day ever, but I'm still going to push through it to the degree that I can. And if I cannot, then I'm going to take those breaks.
Yeah.
Um, my therapist gave me some grounding exercises to go outside, walk around, use your five senses. What do you, and this is super simple, but like, you're outside, what do you smell? Somebody could be cooking on the grill. Like, are you in tune with your senses? What do you feel? Do you feel the wind? Are you chewing gum or something? Or what do you taste? Um, so just grounding and taking those moments can really reset yourself when you do have a bad day. But I think just being intentional and waking up and choosing to be intentional is what resilience is for me currently in this phase.
I love that. And I love that you incorporated, like, I'm such a nature, just like, I love nature, I love outside. But like, I think that the not secret, but maybe like the reason why like engaging our five senses help is because it forces our minds to quiet.
Hmm.
And when the mind is quiet, the body has to like respond to that. And so, or vice versa, when the body is responding to like these other things, the mind has to respond.
Hmm.
But sometimes we don't always like necessarily know how to stop the noise in our minds. Um, and that is like you said, a simple but and often not thought
Effective.
about, like, right,
Yeah.
like method to do that, right? And I love that. Like, I every single morning, even when it's raining, especially on work from home days, I have to stand outside. And when it's raining, it's more challenging because I'm just a girl, and I'll be like, "Why is Like, but my hair, what you mean?
Mhm.
But
I'm
I'll
just
just
a
like
girl.
stand in the doorway. I'm just a girl. Just like
Mhm.
I'll stand in the doorway and be like, all right, and like feel the freshness of like the wind on my face, even if it's not a day where I can like go outside and like be in the elements and all the things. At least I'm getting this fresh air because I'm intentional about my mornings. um what I heard you say, like for this season of like resilience for you, it looks like being honest with yourself and just being honest with those around you of like, this is what I can do and this is what I can't do today. And then what I also heard implied in that is like trusting your honesty, like trusting whatever it is that you can do, and then releasing what it is that you feel like this is too much right now, and not like constantly rehearsing the fact that you can't do it or like you didn't show up or etc.
Mhm.
And I think for me, I would say the same thing. Like it's challenging as a recovering perfectionist and people pleaser to not like do things the right way. I'm very type A, like very type A. Um but I've noticed the differences between being like type A and just you want control. You're trying
Mhm.
to control the outcome. And it's not always for me been because of like, oh, I need this control. That's not what it is. But it's like not feeling safe enough in the journey of the process to where I could actually release the reins and be like, you know what? As long as the destination is what the destination is, how we get there
Mm.
no way is messy, but you know, if we get there, then we like, that's been hard for me to do. But I notice when I'm intentional about doing it, I have so much more peace. Um, but it's challenging to do.
It's
So
extremely challenging.
what would you give as one tip to the butterflies who are like me, who struggle with that?
Oh, I had a few little inserts there. The first one, it was also recommended to me to first thing you should do when you wake up, go stand in the sun. Go get you some fresh sunlight. It's going to, I don't know the technical terminology behind it, but it's going to do something to you. It's going to wake you up. Right, as long as the destination is the same. And what came up to me in that moment was, and I'm gonna tie it back to the NICU,
Hmm.
right? People, I don't want to say this to, you know, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but let's say you want to be a mother, right?
Hmm.
If God showed you NICU was your path,
Yeah.
would you take it?
Mm.
And that for me, like that resonated so many times because that actual pregnancy, Corey and I were trying,
Yeah.
and it took a while.
Yeah.
We were trying at the end of 2022, and it just did not seem promising. It did not seem, it was like, okay, God, what's happening? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it was like, it did eventually happen, but it also came with everything else it came with. And it's like, okay, had I known, would I still say yes?
Yeah.
So that whole journey of just letting go and being open and still showing up and still choosing whatever the path looks like, it is very challenging.
Mhm.
Um, so that is along the lines of what I would say to the butterflies is finding an open perspective on things is not going to go how you planned. It's never going. I mean, sometimes it will. Sometimes it will, and sometimes it'll show up, immaculate. But
Yeah.
sometimes it is going to be tough. It is going to be a season of pressure. It is going to be something that is building character and
Mm.
something that is, um, you know, turning you into someone you need to become,
Yeah.
but it is challenging. So just keeping that open perspective on things is one tap or tap bit I would add. or gifts
Okay.
and butterflies.
I love that. I think I will definitely take that home because y'all, this is a safe place for me too. I come and we're sharing, but I'm learning. I'm here healing out loud, okay? But that's something that I definitely will take and that resonates because as open, I'm learning that like there are a lot of things that are easy in theory and really difficult in practice. And I
Mm-hmm.
said I was gonna do a series on that one time, but I just haven't done it yet. But it's a lot of things in life that's like, oh, in
Every
theory,
day,
this sounds great in theory, but then when you go to do it, it's like, wait a minute, this is hard. This is really
baby.
challenging. But just like being super intentional about like, wait a minute, just relax. Number one, breathe through it. And
Mm-hmm.
I love the reframing of like, this is what you desire. What if it came with this? Would you still desire it? And I think that that could also kind of get us in tune with what we actually desire for real. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
desire it, it really doesn't matter what it would come with. You want
It shouldn't,
it
right?
shouldn't. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But we're human. So,
That experience, baby, that experience be like, oh, wait. Oh, okay, you want it. Let's see how bad you want
am
it.
I right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to head on out.
I think I'm okay. Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
I love that. So, something that I realize is like, I'm really, really good at showing up for other people. But when it comes to like receiving, my journey and my relationship with receiving has not always been the best. I think I'm in a good place with it now,
Mhm.
but that's been like a whole different journey within itself. What has receiving support felt like for you, honestly?
Ooh, I'm a people pleaser too.
Hmm.
Used to be,
Recovering,
used
recovering.
to be.
Okay.
And I didn't know I was, but I was. So I think receiving support has been a journey for me.
Mhm.
Um, I've always had the mindset of if you don't have that expectation, you won't be let down. So
Mm,
don't even expect it. Do for yourself, be this independent woman and you got, not even from just like a bad standpoint, but just do for yourself.
yeah.
You don't have to call anybody. I barely called my mom or dad for anything unless it was like dire. But in this particular journey, motherhood has humbled me
Hmm.
because this cannot be done alone. I don't care if you have one child, two, three, however many, it cannot be done alone. And it takes a village of
Yeah.
support because you are giving so much, even with work. I mean, and this applies to life, period, right? Like friends, um, spouses,
Mhm.
partners, whomever you, and I think as women, Black women, that
Mhm.
nurturing side is it just wants to explode and come out, and you want to give and hug and do all the things, but you are going to be depleted,
Mhm.
and you cannot operate out of a space of depletion if you do not refill yourself. And I know we hear that all the time, but stepping into this season and me understanding that and me tying it to reality
Mhm.
is huge because I can't raise these kids by myself. Even me and Corey, sometimes it's just like we both on 10%. What are we gonna do? Grandmama, friend, somebody. And in those moments, sometimes it's not feasible to say, hey, can you come get them?
Yeah.
So we have to make it work. And sometimes it's like, okay, muster up, get it together, plan it out so you can reset and come back energized. But I'll take all the support I can get these days. Whether that's, you know, talking on the phone with me, whether that's coming to the house and sitting, whether that's taking the kids, whether it's bringing them something to eat, whatever it looks like, I do not shun it or shut it down. I actually welcome it versus when I used to be like, I'm okay
Mm-hmm.
and I'm dying, right?
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you've journeyed from like, you know how they like say like, oh, from a self-critical space to like a reflective space about self. It sounds like you've journeyed from like a space of self-sabotage as it relates to leaning into support to like, no, I faith loving you, like
Mm-hmm.
putting action in behind like, okay, no, I do love myself. And because I love myself, I'm gonna lean in and lean out when I need to and accept this help. Um, I wonder though, like, do you feel like there were times that you didn't ask for help? Because you talked a little bit about like, you know, growing up, like you didn't ask your parents for things unless it was like dire. And maybe not just about your parents, but just in general, asking for help. Do you feel like there were times that you didn't ask for help because you didn't trust it would be there consistently? Or was it more so like, I just need to rebuild my own relationship with getting support after being let down, or something totally different?
Um, Trust was hard,
Mhm.
right? I would say yes to it not being there consistently in the sense of if I need you, and it already takes a lot for me to come to you.
Mhm.
And this is previous mindset, but like, and if it was not, um, if you couldn't show up, I would feel hurt. I would feel, you know, down about it. And maybe you couldn't show up. Maybe you didn't have the resources to show up. I still would feel the way that I feel. Like not resentment or anything, but
Yeah.
I just didn't want to feel that period.
Mhm.
So it was Danica, you take the L. Danica,
Yeah.
you take the loss if you can't or you don't show up or you can't provide, then you don't go. Whatever the case was, it was I handled it internally.
Hmm.
But now
Mhm.
in any area, workload, I mean, if I can't do it, I'll be honest about that.
Mhm.
Even in my Nikki space,
Mhm.
and I don't know if we're going to get to this a little bit later, but
Mhm.
I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
I'm taking a break because pregnancy brought up certain feelings from the previous pregnancy, and it was like, ooh, this is too familiar. I don't even want to be in that headspace
Mhm.
of the NICU experience. So I'm not going to put myself there. I'm taking a break because, first off, I want to show up fully for this pregnancy. But
Yeah.
I am thinking now, right? Like, just think through the process, recognize where you are, but you still have a purpose that needs to be fulfilled. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm working on getting back there.
Absolutely. And I think like day by day, moment by moment, right? Like you name some very real and vulnerable like things that you that came up for you that I'm sure you didn't expect to come up.
Mm-mm.
Um and I think you're human. You're human. And so I think it's what you could have done was lean into your old relationship with resilience and be like, I'm just gonna push through. I'm just gonna push through and I gotta be resilient and I just gotta keep showing up, even though I know that this is putting me in a headspace I don't want or need to be in this moment. But what you did and what you're actively doing is
Mhm.
choosing to lean into your current relationship with resilience of being truthful, vulnerable, and like just present with self enough to know, mm-mm, not this time, not right now, like not
Mm-mm.
forever, but just not
Right,
now. I'm gonna
right.
give myself what I need so that I can show up essentially when it's time for me to show up. And like it's gonna be beautiful when you pop back out. You know what I mean? Because you have so all of this different experience now, um, of like I'm seeing so much like a NICU mama's journey after the NICU, like, but going a different way.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like
Yeah.
I truly believe like our experiences, they shape us. Like you said earlier, like building character. Like when you're going through like the fire of things, or you're going through like the down moments or the hard moments, those are the moments honestly that like build character. They build our strength, but they really ultimately show us what we are made of. And sometimes, well, I also want to add that they remind us of our reliance upon God.
A
Um,
100%.
and it's like, I believe that we are spiritual beings in a human body. Like this flesh is
Mhm.
there to like so that we don't scare each other. It's like, but I believe like our spirits, either they align or they don't align. And it doesn't have to be anything like, oh, I can't stand this person. I don't like this. It's not about that. I don't believe. I just feel like we're spirits in a human body. And because I know from upbringing, like this war is not of flesh and blood, but it's spiritual. And so it's like when we go through different things in our lives, naturally, because we are in flesh, we are of
Mhm.
flesh, we panic, we freak out, we whatever we do, and those feelings are completely valid. But I think part of the as we grow older and like we go through different experiences and we grow our maturity emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, we understand like, oh wait, when I normally would panic, I actually go through this a little bit easier when I learn to pray, or I learn to
Exactly.
breathe, or I learn to go outside and step in some grass, go hug a tree. Like it sounds crazy, but like all of these things are here to help us. And I just love that you shared like where you are present day. And like congratulations. I didn't say it on the camera, but congratulations on your new baby. I'm super
Yeah.
excited. Love it. So let's switch gears. Let's talk more about
Mhm.
motherhood and the NICU layer. So
Mhm.
I can only imagine how a NICU experience shifts your sense of control, like having to surrender in ways that you never planned to. You spoke a little bit about it earlier, but how did that experience reshape you emotionally?
Ooh. My emotions during that experience were all over the place, in phases,
Mhm,
right? Initially, finding out I'm gonna go do whatever you got to do. Let's get her here. Pray that I stay here.
mhm,
All the things, and then in the process of her staying in the NICU, which was 77 days,
mhm,
right? There's I had her by C-section,
mhm.
so me having to heal and go visit her every single day, emotions are a mess,
Yeah.
a complete mess, right? And the doctor forewarned me of like, Danica, do not be going to the hospital every day. You need to heal. You just had major surgery. But you're talking to a mom who didn't see her child 48 hours after giving birth.
Yeah.
It's not registering.
Mm,
It's just not. So making a way to go see her every single day. The drive was about 30 minutes.
mhm,
That's gas. That's time away. Thank God, I had a good package from work that I could start leave immediately. Not every mom is can have that. Some people have to go right back to work,
yeah.
right? Um that was an emotional turn, having to pump because they stress and they emphasize on, first off, all babies, right? Breast milk is a great source, one of the best sources if you can do that.
Mhm,
um but trying to pump without a baby,
mm,
there's no stimulation. There's no, I can't smell her, hold her to even increase the supply. So I have to mentally think about her. I recall us taking a blanket every so often just so I can smell her scents to increase and
yeah.
pump through that. That's another emotional roller coaster. and then just still trying to be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, Aaliyah, she still has to go on. You still have to show up for her. You still have to show up in ways that you need to. You're still, Danica, you still have a husband. Like you still have to show up in these areas. So emotionally, oh, it was a roller coaster, and things started to calm down when she came home. But even when she came home, there was its own challenges. And the there's postpartum, and then there's NICU postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
It's another layer of just, it doesn't stop when she's discharged from home. There's other visits, there's other concerns, there's still monitoring. She's been under the care of nurses for 3 months. She's coming home at 3 months, but she's still a brand new baby. Is she going to? Journey used to have these spells where she would cry from either, if she cries too hard, like she would pass out.
Hmm.
What am I supposed to, like it's just like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. And she did that for about up to a year. She had maybe 4 episodes for up to a year, but it's just a different layer of emotions, and you feeling all over the place and you not being able to get back to structure. But I will say, continuing to show up,
Yeah,
continuing to be intentional of just, okay, this is what God entrusted me with, so I have to go through it.
absolutely.
That is something that brought us closer during this process of look like, and even when we went to Sarah Jake's last year,
Mm-hmm.
you are designed for whatever comes your way. And that was another reminder, okay, that was for me.
Yeah,
I have to show up the best way that I can. So emotionally, it was a journey, but it did get better.
I love that. How would you say that that journey, your NICU journey, um, prepared you for your third pregnancy?
It's still preparing me. um, Initially, just being honest and transparent. When I first found out, I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not. I do not want to go back through that experience. I don't want to relive that.
Mm-hmm.
But um, this also ties back into receiving support, right?
Yeah,
Because I am high risk of it happening again. I have 5 or 6 doctors I have to go to.
yeah,
Everybody is watching me. Everybody wants to draw blood. Now, expenses are ridiculous.
yeah,
Lord help. But everybody is caring for me. Everybody is watching me extremely closely. And I have to take that perspective on as, receive this support, Danica, so that you can get through this journey the best way that you can. Take the advice. Your eating habits have to change. You
mm-hmm.
may have to take a couple more pills than you would like to. It is not ideal,
Mm-hmm.
but this is your journey. And if you want to get to the end of it, this is what you have to do.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it is shaping me with just continuing to be open with the process again, right? Baby number 3, I'm here for the ride. I will tell you, yeah, probably won't be anymore, but baby number 3, I'm here, I'm doing it, and yeah,
and you look beautiful doing it. Okay,
thank you.
like you carry so well every single time. I know, like your experience with Journey was like you said, it was unexpected. It was like, what is this? This is the child I prayed for, not the, you know. Um,
Exactly.
but she's so beautiful and so lively, baby. She is little, but baby, she don't let being little stop her from. She's
Mm-mm.
so strong, and she's very like, I know what I want and what I don't.
She
Uh,
is matter of fact
she's very matter of fact.
in her young age.
I love it. I feel like you and Corey just make the most beautiful babies with the most beautiful energy, the most beautiful spirit. And so baby number 3 is gonna be like even more amazing. Like the house is gonna be so full of even more love and just it's gonna be amazing. So I'm super excited. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Now, let's talk about a little bit more about identity and softness and permission. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm learning that softness doesn't make me weak. And I feel like you said this earlier. It actually requires more honesty. What has softness been teaching you lately?
All right. Yes, I agree, right? Softness is a part of who I am.
Hmm.
And the older I get, I'm realizing, right, Danica, that's just you. That's just you care for people um in a way of just like it comes natural. It's not a something that has to be forced or something that I'm trying to do, or it's just a sense of like I just feel certain things for people and I run with it.
Yeah.
Um so being able to lean into that, right? That soft spot, I'll say it's my softness. And even more, I want to be able to operate in all my feminine ways. I don't want to be the strong black woman.
Yes. Okay.
I
Me.
can't be. I very well can. I'm just a girl.
Hello.
I'm just a girl. So I just want to be able to operate in that and operate in it well.
Yeah.
So when I'm raising girls, right? They need to know how to operate in it well too. And through that, they need to see that example. They don't need to see someone who's fussing and angry because work was extremely stressful or whatever the case is. They need to have that presence at home early.
Hmm.
Um, so just recognizing that I am just showing up authentically me.
I
And
love
that is
that.
all I can do.
Yeah.
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 Like you
Absolutely.
said earlier, you either vibe with it or you don't.
Yep.
So
And I gracefully bow out or release you. No hate. No, it's nothing like that, honestly. Um, I personally can attest to like your caring and nurturing nature. Like from the first time we met, I was like, oh, she's so kind and sweet. I'm gonna be her friend. Meanwhile, it was through our sorority that like I would see you on campus, but like we never like engaged before playing
mhm.
AKA. And so when I found out like we was gonna be online together, I was like, oh yeah, I get to know her, because I was shy. I'm like, I ain't about to go up here and just be like, she gonna be like, girl, who are you? Get out of my face. But Danika, you have been an essential part of my life through so many different seasons of my life. Whether it was when I was dealing with depression, dealing with like really deep in depression, and nobody knew because I was just functioning through it, being resilient, right? Like just continuing to show up and do all the things. um but I will never forget, um social media and just like talking is just what I've always done. Like it's just how I heal. And I
Mhm.
know it could be like, girl, you did not need to say you did not need to say that on that platform like that. But for me, I feel like there's healing in conversation, which is why this entire platform exists. And I will never forget the first time that I shared about my mental health, and
Mhm.
you reached out to me, and you were one of the only ones to reach out to me after I had shared that, and you had asked like, Shakerah, really? And your exact words was, but when? You was like, but
I remember
when?
that. I remember. I remember.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I was talking to you, and you was just like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You need something. You need to talk. You need anything like that. You call. You don't go through stuff by yourself. And I think for me at that time, it was hard to trust. Not necessarily hard to trust you, but just hard to trust that there was somebody that actually cared for me in that way with no motive, no like, oh, I'm doing this because of this, or I'm doing
Mhm.
this, to like gather all her secrets and then share or whatever, or judge her or what have you. And so I can absolutely speak to like the fact that regardless of the different iterations of life, love, just everything, health, just whatever, distance, even, you've been a constant in my life. And through how you've continued to show up, even in quote unquote weak moments, right? It has encouraged me from a distance to be like, you know what? I can do this. Like, I can do this. I can continue to show up, and I can also gracefully bow out if I need to. I can say the thing, and I can be whimsical, and I can be soft, and I can be a crybaby because I'm a crybaby, you know? And for a lot of time, I leaned out of that space because I felt like, it's like, oh, that's, you shouldn't do that. You just need to show up strong, and like, and it's like, but I don't like the way that makes me feel. I like to be, as you said, in tune with all parts of my femininity, because I'm just a girl, just a girl. So I want to publicly thank you for how you've made space for me in your life, even when you didn't have space to make for me. You've still been like so extremely like intentional with me, so extremely intentional with how you like spend your and share your time with me and share your family with me. um I just, I know I wouldn't have got through this last season of my life without you, and so I just want to say thank you for being a healthy example in my life of really what does resilience reimagine look like. Because so many moments and so many times you could have gave up, or you could have just been like, I'm not doing this. But you
Yeah,
continue to show up, but not in a raw way. It was like, I'm gonna show up soft today. I'm gonna show up 10% today, but I'm showing up.
exactly. And yes, sister, you know, I'm here. I'm always be here. And thank you for returning the favor because, you know, as we grow older, life distance is it can either kill you or make you stronger. But I, I'm thankful that we understand, right? Like it's just distance. It's just a thing. Keep it moving. When we do see each other, there's not a skip beat. And even if it's a while, right? Like check in from time to time. So I appreciate you for returning the favor.
Always and forever. So, what are you giving yourself permission to experience now that you didn't before? And what made that shift
So
possible?
I'm giving myself permission to fully feel my feelings without being stuck there. And it's okay. Oh, I'm learning it's okay, right? If I'm angry, feel angry. But I don't need to stay and operate out of anger, right? If I'm sad, which that's, and I'll be honest, that's often the first, it's not the first, but it's a reoccurring feeling. Even with this pregnancy, I'm super emotional. I could be watching TV and it's a water bag, but feeling the feels and then acknowledging, okay, you felt that. What's next? Come up out of it. Um, I don't know if I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen the memes where this lady is saying, "Come up out of it. Just keep coming out," and that stuck with me and resonated for so long to just feel what you feel because if you suppress it, it's going to come out in a way that you don't want it to. It's going to, you know, maybe show up, bring out different characteristics that you don't want to. So feel it, go through it, but you have to come up out of it. So I'm giving myself permission to feel and then move along.
I love that. I love that. And I feel like that takes strength to be able, it's like a soft strength, right?
Yeah,
Because it's being able to like sit still, to be present in what you're feeling. And I don't think that that's something that we're taught to do, whether it's taught or we caught it, right?
mhm,
That we don't do that. No. And honestly, I think society doesn't provide us with many opportunities to be able to do that. So I love that you said like sit in your feelings for a minute. It's okay. And pay attention to like what this feeling is so you can name it.
exactly.
And like something that I do is like what is this bringing up? What is experiencing these feelings bringing up for me? Whether it's something unprocessed or whether it's just something that's like, oh, okay, well, we know what
Mhm.
that do. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
but without trying to make sense of it all the time, because not everything is gonna make sense. Sometimes things just are, but we gotta feel it, like you said. Don't suppress it.
And I was one to like keep asking questions, but why? Or help me understand. And even recently, I'm not gonna understand. Maybe it's not meant for me to understand, and I have to be okay with that. I'll say I struggled with that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At work, we called it expecting and accepting non-closure, and
Ooh.
it's very hard. And some like we go into our meetings with like, which agreement are you leaning into? And I mine all the time is speak your truth and expect and accept non-closure, because to me, I see a solution to this. But y'all want to keep talking about how we get there, how we get there, how we get there. It's like somebody just decide, but not every single issue, problem, feeling, in this context, emotion is meant to be made sense of. That's why it's a feeling. And that's why like I will argue till I can't no more that like I don't need to justify my feelings. They are my feelings. It doesn't have to make sense. This is what I feel. But
Mhm.
I'm also learning that like my feelings are true. I mean, my feelings are valid, but they're not always true. So I could feel fear, I could feel anger, I can feel sadness, and then I can pinpoint like probably why I feel two of those three things. But then when I actually go and open the door to have the conversation or really unpack and open that avenue, if you will, to like get to the root of the thing,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, okay. So the story that I that my feelings were telling me was not true, but my feelings still were valid, but the story that they told me wasn't true. So now I can move past these feelings even better because girl, yeah, you crying and you sad and you do all these things, but you know the story that
Yeah.
they're telling you is not to be believed. So like
Yeah.
move past it. So I love that. And I think for me, I think I'm giving myself permission to experience joy, like actually experience joy, um, in ways that I didn't before in this
Mhm.
season.
True
So
joy.
yes,
Yes.
like instead of like performing joy, it's like I'm leaning into like, oh, okay, like I like this feeling. And it could
Mhm.
be something that nobody ever sees, but it makes me feel good. I'm realizing more and more that I don't need to have everything figured out to be in a meaningful place.
Mhm.
There's something honest about being in process and not rushing it. How are
Mhm.
you learning to honor where you are without needing to tie it all together?
Okay. I think for me, and maybe a lot of people can resonate, but understanding that life itself, it's a cycle, it's a journey. We set goals, we obtain them. We set goals, we obtain them. We set goals, we fail, we rebuild.
Hmm.
It is a continuous cycle. And once we strive for something, we achieve it, we're just going to strive for the next thing. So understanding that we're just in a journey, a journey process of life, and
Hmm.
it's going to be reoccurring things in certain phases, right? And we're different people.
Yeah.
We're not the little girls at 10 years old. We're not the girls that we were in college. We are different people. We have different needs, different wants. So understanding that's just a process itself,
Yeah.
um, and being okay with that, right? You may get to the point where you feel good about this process. And then it's like, okay, I can move to the next phase.
Hmm.
In life's journey, right, we're going to have different chapters.
Hmm.
You close and you succeeded in chapter one. Chapter two got to come. Chapter three got to come. I'm on chapter 36 right now. Can't believe it.
Hmm. You look
When is
good,
it
baby.
happening? So it's just life is a process itself, and just understanding that I think is helping me.
Yeah.
But I didn't always have that realization either, right? I'm just striving, 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 and getting burnt out in the process. And it's just like, no, enjoy the journey, take the ride, learn what you need to learn, continuing to grow as well, right? And evolve. I
Yeah.
want to still be better than I was even yesterday.
Yeah.
I had moments yesterday I wasn't proud of. So
Mhm, mhm.
today I'm going to work to not have those moments again.
Yeah. I love that. It's like day by day.
Literally.
I think for people who are like overachievers, um, people I'll name maybe not, yeah, I want to say that. Overachievers or people who are used to finishing on top, right? Um, it's challenging to go, as you said, from chapter to chapter. But something that I saw literally last night, I was just like scrolling on TikTok and I saw Auntie Tab. She did an interview and she was talking about like business, for example. And she's like, think of business like pregnancy. Like your first 3 months, she said, like your first 3 months, you sick, you're oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? And then you have your second trimester where it's a little bit better. You might could hold something a little bit down, which means you have like a almost a steady foundation in your business.
Hmm.
And then it's time to give birth to the baby, and you at your peak. You like, oh, I feel good. We know it's about to happen. So like correlating that to business, it would be like, okay, we made enough to like have one employee, you know? And then you feel like you're at the top of your game and then you plateau. But
Hmm.
plateau in a different sense. It's like you're not starting completely over, but you've given birth to the child. But now giving birth starts you from a different level one. And so now you have to learn, like, okay, from ages 1 to 3, you might be, if you're a first time mom, you like every single time. So
Exactly.
then you eventually go to that teenage stage and you like, what is happening? And she's like, so with every single thing, look at it as like a journey. And as quick as you go high,
You can
you
come
come
right back
back
down.
down. It's just, but you're never starting from the ground zero point of where you first started with nothing.
Right.
Um, so
That was
I
good.
yeah, I was like,
That was good.
okay. It was real good. Like it was
Mhm.
really good, like visually to kind of like
Yeah.
imagine,
Yeah.
that. But I just feel like taking time to celebrate, the wins when we have those wins and we have those like moments of like, I accomplished this thing before moving on to the next. And sometimes like not rushing to move on to the next might look like taking time to evaluate like what went well,
Hmm.
accomplish that good thing or that goal or etc. And then other times it may look like not trying to like evaluate how you got there, but just lean into the joy of I did this thing. um because as you name, like life is a journey and we are all doing this for the first time. And while it appears that some people have it more together than others, the reality is they're waking up every day and doing it for the first time as well. But I think like something that I'm realizing more and more about like being in process is that even the journey is beautiful. Like, because I noticed like a lot of times where I've worked so hard to accomplish a thing and I get there in my past, I felt like, dang, that's it. Like, you spend more time in the journey than you do
Hmm. Then you do
in
exactly.
the thing. So I think like being intentional of like being intentionally present for the journey is how we lean into it and we can actually fully celebrate when that moment comes, because it's a moment, baby. It's a moment.
That it is. That it is. No, I agree. Right. It is learning how to be present is a thing too.
Mhm.
Right. And even, I mean, I'm going to tie it to the kids, but so
Mhm.
often we say, oh, I can't wait for you to reach this age. Oh, I can't wait. You don't get that time back.
Mhm.
You have memories, but being present, and I can remember having Aaliyah the first time. I'm like, oh, I'm tired of carrying her around. I can't wait till she just walk in and then she tear my house up. Now I'm like, oh, come on back, baby stage. Come on. But it's just like learning to be present is a real thing. And I think it will help, like you said, enjoy the journey along the way.
Absolutely. Well, Danica, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with us today, talking about reimagining resilience or resilience reimagined. If you could leave the butterflies with one thing about reimagining resilience, what would that be?
Ooh, um, it's a number of things, but I think what is standing out to me is don't rush the becoming.
Mm,
Don't rush what you have to marinate, what you have to sit in, what you have to feel, what you have to just kind of reflect on. But take the journey. It's
mm,
designed for you. It's meant for you. Nobody else can do it. Nobody's going to do it the way you can. And at the end of that, you're going to have resilience.
mm. I love that. I love that. Y'all heard it here first, okay? Don't rush the becoming. Don't rush the becoming. Because at the end of it, baby, resilience is like the treasure at the end of whatever the situation is. Thank you again, Danica, for being with us.
You're welcome.
Tell the butterflies once more where they can find you. If you have anything coming up, or if you have anything that they can digest, chew upon until you pop back out, where they can find that as well.
Yes. Okay. You can follow me. I'm most present in at a NICU Mama Journey. And the title is going to say a NICU Mother's Journey, but I had to shorten it. So, a NICU Mama Journey on Instagram, a NICU Mother's Journey on Facebook, Dynika Marshall on all platforms. And I have um, some things on my page that you can go back to and kind of look through. I'll be doing another speaking engagement. It's called um, Bridging the Gap Between the Birth Experience. That will be connected with Nurse Jess Daigle. She's a wonderful woman to be in connection with. She was my my NICU nurse when I brought Journey home. She helped me transition through a lot of things. So I am doing a summit with her, and it will be on my page for you guys to go back and watch and just look through if you need to.
I love it. I love it. What she didn't say was that there are also lots of like motivational and inspirational quotes
100%.
that you can go back. It's a lot. It's a lot in the archive. You know, I know people be like, but I don't see in the. It's like over 100 posts there already, you know. Go back and like get the goodness. And I'm not a mother yet, but it's a page, her page is a page that I follow and that I engage with, because the things that are discussed and the content that she puts is motivational and inspiring from a space of like being a woman, and a woman who's intentional about her mental and emotional well-being, whether I have a child or not. So if you're not a mother and you don't have or haven't gone through the NICU experience, don't feel discouraged and feel like, well, that's not a community for me. If you're an aspiring mother, if you're a mother adjacent, like a godmother, etc., if you support mothers, join her community. Okay.
And I'll also add too, if you know a NICU mom, right? I do have something coming. It is called the NICU Survival Kit
Mhm.
that will be available. So that will be dropping soon. And if you know someone and you don't know how to support, it's a perfect way to help them through the journey. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes. Come on, product. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to thank you guys again for joining season 3, episode 6 of Candid Conversations, Resilience Reimagined with Dynika Marshall. If you haven't already at this point in the video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with somebody that you feel could benefit from just some beautiful, vulnerable, and transparent conversation around resilience, whether that be for motherhood or just being a woman in general. Okay. Make sure that you follow Dynika on all social media platforms. Make sure that you tune in and follow us on all social media platforms. And if you're listening by way of podcast, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast so that you get notifications each time we drop another episode. And tune in for next month as we dig into more things concerning being a well woman in this season. Remember, you are infinitely loved. You are heavily protected, and you are abundantly blessed, and you are so worthy of every dream, goal, hope, and desire that you have on the inside of you, so much as you believe. I'll see you guys next month, and thank you so much for being here. Bye.
Bye.
If you haven't already purchased your copy of our Hope Emotional Wellness Workbook, make sure that you do so today at www.thebeautybeyondthemirror.org. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at The Beauty Beyond the Mirror, and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell so that you never miss when we post another video. If you're listening via Spotify or Apple, make sure that you add us so that you can be in the room next month. Have a great one.